Hello, hello. Happy Friday. Happy Friday, everybody. Hey, JK. Let's go, Max. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. It's Friday. It's beautiful here. It is a beautiful day. It's 53, almost 54 degrees here in Wisconsin, sunny Wisconsin. If you're feeling cold where you're at, you can come to Wisconsin and sit outside and get a tan. Practically you can tan. What's your party plans for this Friday? Are you guys wild? Do you guys have big plans? This is my big plans. You guys are always my big plans. Super smarty. Thank goodness. Thank God it's Friday. We made it. You're in Wisconsin, JK? That's cool. I'm over closer to Green Bay in a little town called Appleton. You guys can know. It's easy to look me up. I'm not hiding. For now, unless influencers decide to like post whatever hateful stuff about me, but I'm a little guy right now. They don't care about me, which is fine. I'm like happy. I'm happy to be the little guy for now. I'm like Erika. Kirk though, I want the sparklers. I want the fireworks. I want the merch. Gosh, merch. Stevens Point. Oh my gosh, you're right around the corner. That's cool. We moved here in 2022. And so we've been here ever since. We came this way, never thinking we'd end up in Wisconsin. Like nobody wakes up in their life when they're not from Wisconsin, right? And goes like, hey, let's move to Wisconsin. I mean, not that there's anything wrong with Wisconsin. You like cheese, you like beer, you like football, you've got a home here. It's better than Ohio from what I hear. Because Les Wexner isn't here. Yeah, so but we have our my husband's brother and sister, our sister-in-law live here. They've got 9 in their family. They've got a lot of kids. They listen to Charlie Kirk. They had lots and lots of kids. They didn't stop until the good Lord said stop by natural means. That's not me. Like I want to be able to say all that. So Maggie, I don't see Maggie here yet. Say hello in the chat. Hit the thumbs up on the video. Please like and subscribe and hit all notifications, because if you don't hit all the notification bells, you won't always get notified about all the things. Anyway, so they went the natural route for birth control and didn't stop until the good Lord said you're done. And so we've got lots of nieces and 2 nephews. Most of them, they had mostly girls. Mostly girls. The news is hot today, as always. You know, Donald Trump likes to keep it chaos. Was it always like this, you guys? Was it always like this and we just didn't see it all, hear it all, know it all? Goodness gracious. So I went back through Candace's show yesterday, and again, I don't see a notification of when she's going on. So you'll have to help me keep track of that. Maybe she's a little bit later today because she did post. Did you see her post? It's good. It's gonna be a good one. Do you think she'll go long with this series and add another day or 2 or whatever? Anyway, so the big news. So we'll get to the Erika Kirk of it all and all the things with all that. Maggie had sent over a video for us to watch. She wanted us to look at it yesterday, she mentioned. But Anthropic, do y'all know Anthropic? So the Department of Defense, their AI, their Sam Altman, super smarty. I'm old. I don't have Twitter. Oh, I need our comments on stage. Let's do this. I don't have Twitter or Instagram. Just the good old YouTube. That's all we need. Because you'll catch up here. Because, I'm doing it for you. So you don't have to. Yeah? So Anthropic, they're an OpenAI. No. Hold on. I'm getting my people mixed up. Because, OpenAI is Sam Altman. So Anthropic has an AI contract with our Department of Defense. Our Department of Defense wants them to remove all guardrails. They want to surveil, allegedly. They want to surveil all of us anytime they want to. They want to use the AI for military with no restrictions or very little restrictions or oversight. And you know what's scary about that is when you use the AI for war, to attack citizens, Palestine, they did that. To attack boats on the sea, they did that. Who do you go after when something goes wrong? Who do you go after when they kill people illegally? I mean, do you go after AI? Who's responsible at that point? It's crazy. Hi, Jets. From Texas. What's the temperature there? It's 53, 54. It's pretty warm here in Wisconsin, Jets. And it's sunny. In the studio, I close up all the windows though, so that we can just have consistent lighting. But anyways, so Anthropic is saying, they had narrow assurances from the Pentagon that Claude won't be used for mass surveillance of Americans and autonomous weapons. So they went public. They made their statement, which is unusual. With contracts and stuff, they're pretty hush hush. They like to keep that close to the vest, but they're talking. They're talking and saying our government, they're warning us. If you don't know this, I'll tell you. About 2 to 3 weeks ago, they had a lot of people leave Elon Musk's, the AI structure. They had people leave. They've had people leave, and they're claiming it's because they don't like the direction that things are going. Anthropic lost a couple of key individuals because they said it was pretty cryptic. Their posts were like, we don't, agree like with where they're going with this. And so my conscience says we have to go. I have to go. So stuff like that. So it's 90 degrees in Texas. Lucky you. And I said it was tanning weather at 50 here. Data centers will get attacked. Well, they're putting them underground, so they'll have to attack up top first, up top. So, anyways, so private talks exploded into public debate, and they said last night, I'll quote, so the contract language for the Department of Defense, framed as a compromise, was paired with wording that would allow safeguards that AI has in place to be disregarded at will, which we know President Trump loves at will. He just loves to do, like, he wants ultimate control. He's pretty much got that. And so they've already restricted what the states can do to limit AI in the big beautiful bill. They took away all states' rights to limit AI, and now they want to limit AI itself, which is a bit scary. Smash the like button, friends. Yes, please do smash the like button and the heart next to the chat. Please subscribe. I'll get all notifications so you get notified for all the things. And so now, do you guys remember that Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, and Trump's pal, and he's part of the person who, or the group of people who invested in the Stargate program. He's ready to step in as the hero and say, look, hey, we'll do it. Who do you think will get the contract? Anthropic, or Sam Altman, who contributed millions, billions, however much to Stargate. I'm not surprised. He wants to come in like a hero, just like Larry Ellison does. If you guys seen the previous shows, we talked about Larry Ellison and how he tends to be there in times of crisis with a great solution and ready to help free of charge. So this tells me, a couple of things, maybe. So it makes me wonder if there's a bid to buy out or merge, do a merger with Anthropic, or if this is just a bidding war, if this is just trying to, get a better price with the government. What do you think? I mean, it could either go merger, acquisition, or they're bidding. So if Anthropic loses this contract, it's going to hurt them. And the government, of course, is using that as leverage. Let's see, Smokey. Use alpha, pureblood Americans aren't scared of, us, use alpha. I'm like, us pure blood Americans aren't scared of anything. Gosh, give us a good fight. AI is a little bit scary though. I just got a notification from Candace. Let's see. So what time is it? What time is she going on? Do you guys know? Let me see. $4:30. She's going on at 4:30. Cool. We got a little bit of time. Anyways, let's see. Data centers. Who cares? Arrest the PDFs. Arrest them all. Arrest them all. 4:30. Perfect. Thank you. Hi there, Lavish. Lavish Habits. 8867. Lavish Habits. Is that like bath bombs and facials? What kind of habits? They're scared of us. Yeah. Well, they should be. I think they should be. They've underestimated us. I think they have. So anyways, that's in the news. Do you guys remember that when Stargate was announced in January? What was that? That was 2025. Okay. What else is there? Okay. Did you guys see the commercial for President Trump? Because if you haven't, you got to see this commercial. And I don't want to tell you, like, I'm just like American. Let's do what's right. I think we're all in agreement that the partisan BS, it's like, so like last decade, we're over it. We're not doing it anymore. Okay, let's see. I'm sure that you guys have seen this, but in case you haven't, let's take a look and have a chuckle because it made me chuckle. Let's see. Whoops.
Trump was about 15 years ago, and I went to visit him at one of his golf clubs, and they said, oh, he's in the lobby. I went in the lobby and I couldn't find him, and then I hear Pam, and he is on top of a ladder himself, hanging an oil painting of a golf portrait in one of his resorts. And that is the man's attention to detail.
I was negotiating a trade deal with Malaysia, and I was scheduled to meet with the prime minister of that country. The night before, the president called me, and I let him know that I would be speaking to the prime minister the next day. Jameson, he said, do a favor for me. Once you get in there, call me, and I want to talk to him. He said, Mr. President, it's probably going to be about midnight in Washington when I'm meeting with him. He said, don't worry about it. I'll just watch my phone. And by the time they were done, they had essentially finished negotiating a trade deal. And I think more was done for U.S.-Malaysia trade relations in that 10 minutes than had been done in the many years prior.
I remember last year, is some veterans who had been wounded, who'd taken grievous injury for our country, came to visit him. But one thing stuck out of my mind is some of them had prosthetic devices, and they came in and actually were taking those prosthetic devices, and the president...
This is killing me. He signed their prosthetic devices.
Would actually sign them.
That part's not that. It's just the commercial.
See in his eyes how much he cared and how much he appreciated what these veterans had done for this country.
I think my most exhilarating memory of the president is when I did the endorsement of him at the Turning Point Conference in Arizona in the middle of
It's
our
really hard
campaigns.
for me.
And then
It's really hard for me to listen to him.
for humor, it was when he took me hostage on his airplane and tried to make me eat a Big Mac.
One of my favorite memories with President Trump was when I brought my granddaughter into
She brought her granddaughter. I hope she didn't leave her alone. I really do.
to meet him, and he spent so much time with Miss Addie, gave her one of his special challenge coins and lots of treats.
Was
The
that
fact that he
on
cared
purpose?
about a little 4-year-old and spent time with her just showed me what kind of a president he is.
Only in Donald Trump's administration could I be with Xi Jinping in Korea one moment and Nicki Minaj talking about Trump accounts the next. Only Donald Trump.
Okay. Oh, no, that was not a good choice. It's really hard to listen to him. I can't understand him a lot of the time. Do you guys, is it a condition, or is this like from years of drug use, or like, I don't know. I'm not trying to be mean. I'm just saying, like, what is it? I really want to know. Anyway, that was crazy. That was probably one of the lamest commercials for a president that I've ever seen. Okay. So, in case you don't remember about Stargate, I wanted to share this one with you too, because this is the one where Sam Altman is announced. Yeah. Okay. Let's watch.
A lot about it in the future. A new American company that will invest $500 billion at least in AI infrastructure in the United States, and very, very quickly, moving very rapidly, creating over 100,000 American jobs almost immediately. This monumental undertaking is a resounding declaration of confidence in America's potential under a new president. Let me be a new president. I didn't say it, they did. So I appreciate that, fellas.
He didn't name any of the things though. Trump accounts, Trump this, Trump that. He kept saying in his State of the Union, I didn't name it, they did. Everybody knows how to get to your ego though. The done.
But it'll ensure the future of technology. What we want to do is we want to keep it in this country. China is a competitor and others are competitors. We want it to be in this country, and we're making it available.
Hold on, I want to get there. Here. It was okay. Look at this body language though. Sam Altman's away from everybody else.
CEO of everything. He's an amazing
CEO of everything. If you guys haven't seen this, I'll play it for you. I'll tell you in a minute.
man, an amazing business
Ellison.
person. But to announce the largest AI infrastructure project by far in history, and it's all taking place right here in America. As you know, there's great competition for AI and other things, and they're coming in at the highest level. We're joined by Oracle Executive Chairman Larry Ellison, SoftBank CEO, my friend Masa Yoshi-san, and CEO of OpenAI, and I would say the by far the leading expert based on everything I read, Sam Altman. So that's great.
And accused of molesting his sister.
Great that you're coming in together. That's a massive group.
My guess
of
is that
talent
he gets the
and money.
contract.
Together, these world-leading technology giants are announcing the formation of Stargate. So put that name down in your books, because I think you're going to hear a lot about it in the future. A new American company that will invest $500 billion at least in AI infrastructure in the United States, and very, very quickly, moving very rapidly, creating over 100,000.
Okay. I'm guessing Sam Altman will get the contract and maybe merge. Okay, so if you guys, if you weren't here during this this live when we talked about the Dre dossier, if you don't know about her, go check out her channel. She's amazing. She does amazing work, investigative work, and she's very, very thorough. Anyway, so she's talked about AI. She's talked about Larry Ellison in like one of her series is like who the hell do I work for or something like that. But I really, really like her. So I'm going to share this one and go here. Okay, here she is. She's so cute.
AI is being used in warfare. Point blank, that's not news. The Pentagon's actually been pretty open about investing in AI targeting systems, autonomous drones, and algorithmic decision making. That's all public knowledge. Now, what isn't public knowledge is what happens if those systems are ever involved in a war crime. If being the operative word. Now, in normal circumstances, when a human commander makes a bad call, wrong target, or accidentally kills civilians, that commander faces a court-martial. Their career's over. They might even go to prison. But in any case, a human being is carrying the weight of that decision. Let's just say if, theoretically, AI generates a recommendation and a human validates it without fully understanding, who's held accountable? Is it the operator who clicked approve, or the programmer who wrote the code, or perhaps the general who brought in the system? It's very unclear, and that lack of clarity makes me very, very nervous, understandably so. And that's the question that September 2nd raises for me. Not is AI being used in warfare, because we know that it is. The question is, if AI-assisted decisions produce war crimes, who answers for it? Because right now, the answer appears to be no one.
Yes. And I think they, that's probably by design, I would think. For sure. Okay. So now I think it was Maggie yesterday was talking about this video with Charlie Kirk and where he looked upset. It looks like some of my notes got deleted first. Okay. So, thinking about planning, Charlie Kirk had planned for Erika Kirk to be married and staying at home and being a mother and all of that. And she's reinvented herself yet again, which I have nothing against. You reinvent yourself. That's what life is. Like, we don't have to stay the same. We're not static beings. We're, we change, we grow, we evolve. However, we know it's a little bit different. But anyways, she wanted us to take a look at this video because I agree with her. Charlie Kirk does look a wee bit agitated in this video when he's looking off screen. So he's at his home office, his home studio, which I can understand because, things are happening and you're like, make the kids be quiet or whatever. But it just reminds us of really what Charlie Kirk thought and what he expected of Erika Kirk. And it makes me question, do you think he really put it in his will? He put it in his will that she took over as CEO. Here's this other thing. We'll discuss it after we see this because I want you to sound off on this too, because let's go.
There's some good founder and CEO of Turning Point USA, Charlie.
Did you see?
There's some good news.
Did you see him looking off there? He's like, make him shut up. I don't know.
USA, Charlie. There's some.
Or he's talking to his producer, going, "What's going on? I can't see."
Good news here, clearly, with the conservative young male voters and folks. But what is going on with women and not wanting to prioritize family?
Is our chat working, chat? I'm paranoid.
This is a pattern that I've seen time and time on these college campuses where young men.
Since the chat was deactivated the first episode, I'm kind of paranoid about this happening again. So let me know you're there.
Are ordering their life correctly. They want to first and foremost have children get married, and then have a nice job or to be able to travel. If you look deeper into this data, it's completely consistent with other data we've seen in the last couple of years. Young women, they don't value having children. And this is one of the reasons why we are seeing a fertility collapse in the West. We're seeing less and less young people get married. We're seeing more and more people go into their 30s to have children. Now, mind you, this is starting to change the last 18 months especially. We are seeing a little bit of a turning of the corner.
I feel like this is oversimplified because the reason people aren't having children and doing all that stuff is because finances. That's my take. Whatever. Okay.
As the country is starting to get more into traditionalism and young people are starting to go back to church. But if you play out the liberal worldview, the Kamala Harris worldview, to its furthest possible logical point, you have a country with literally no future. When you play out the logical endpoint of President Trump's agenda of where young men voted for him, you have one of lots of children, increasing communities, and you also don't have a need then for mass immigration. And this all kind of ties together. Trump voters, young men, they want family, children, and legacy. Young women who voted for Kamala Harris, they want careerism, consumerism, and loneliness. That is a dramatic divide.
Did Erika vote for Kamala? Do you think she didn't tell him?
That is going to play out in our politics for the years to come.
Isn't social media great? Didn't it teach people all the right lessons? Oh my goodness. Charlie, everybody knows you speak to college students all the time. And this is someone you met who calls herself a conservative feminist. Watch.
And I think that a better way to propose.
Maggie's right, though. His nose does look red, like he was upset. Hi, Loretta.
Feminism in the public media would be not to eliminate having children and tell women that they shouldn't have children, but to figure out your career first before you decide to like settle down, because you can't really undo that once you have kids.
Charlie, what advice would you give young women who've been taught to put their careers first before even thinking about settling down or having kids?
I always get in trouble no matter how I answer this question.
Well,
here it goes. Look, I'll say this, is that having children is more important than having a good career. I have 2 kids. I also have an amazingly blessed career. Our podcast is doing great, but my kids...
So here's the thing is he's talking about how the kids matter, but remember how Erika was saying, like, he's gone. And like his schedule, he was gone most of the year traveling. I think your kids need their both parents. Yeah, he does look upset. His nose looks red. He keeps looking off screen, so maybe the kids were being a little loud. Maybe that's why, he couldn't be there a lot. But I mean, he's talking about these values, but this is also, and this is just my mind. Like I would go think of this with anybody because it's just how my mind works. Is like, guy, you weren't even home with your kids. You weren't. And Erika clearly voted for Kamala.
Matter way more than how many social media followers that I have. And I would also tell young ladies, you can always go back to your career later, that there is a window where you primarily should pursue marriage and having children. And that is a beautiful thing. This is not about shaming. It's not about ridiculing. It's not about moralizing. It's about lifting up what is beautiful. And by the way, when we look at the mental health data, young women are not okay. That is right, half of liberal white women say that they have some form of mental health issue that has been diagnosed by a doctor. What is the number one thing that mental health professionals will tell you when it comes to mental health issues? Loneliness does not help. So maybe we should solve the loneliness epidemic by encouraging young ladies to get married and have children. It's good for them, it's good for America, and it's good for our future.
At Texas A&M, Charlie, I know you've spoken there. Everyone knows I have a daughter there at Texas A&M.
Anyway, he's looking off screen. His nose looks red, like Maggie had said. It looked like maybe he had been crying or upset or something. But yeah, something clearly was going on off on the sides that we don't know. But I wonder, so this makes, as much as he and Erika preached about staying home, being with the kids, the mother's place was at home, and that's what's important. How do we marry the two? How do we even make sense of that at all? I don't think we do. Okay, so Like why? Okay, so I went over this morning and I rewatched Candace's episode like I normally do. Anyway, and so his will, that was one of the things. I'm like, was it really in his will or did they rewrite it? You know, because Erika's family is prone to fraud. I mean, she's prone to fraud. Like they change and alter documents. That's, you know, we kind of learned that yesterday. Is it possible that they changed that too? Her and Tyler and Andrew Colvett. Speaking of Andrew Colvett, I have a treat for you. I have this little clip of when Andrew first went his first interview. Well, Megyn Kelly did the Charlie Kirk show. Andrew Colvett was there talking to her and he misspoke. So he was talking about, I clipped this as soon as I saw it. I'm like, Andrew's in this deep. He's in it so far deep. I clipped the part of where he had a Freudian slip. I know Freud is a big problem in our circles from what we're learning. But listen, I clipped it and I put it on my soundboard so that I can randomly play this for you. But so he's talking to Megyn Kelly about the staff processing their grief, but this is what he says instead. And so I clipped it and then posted it, and it went a little wild. It went a little viral.
Their guilt. They're processing their guilt. They're processing their guilt. They're processing their guilt.
Did you guys hear that? So tell me if you heard it or not. So he says they're processing their guilt, and Megyn stops him and she says, she says their grief, and he's like, oh, yeah, that's what I mean. Sorry, they're processing their grief. But here, let me play it again. Tell me if you heard this or not.
They're processing their guilt. They're processing their guilt. They're processing their guilt. They're processing their guilt.
So I'm just going to hit that for us randomly throughout things. He believed. So, Loretta, I think it's easy to have an opinion about how things should work while being blind to your own dysfunction. Yeah. While he's running around the country, never home, Erika is going through whatever she's going through at home by herself, lonely. I mean, a lot of wives are lonely because their husbands are checked out or they're into their careers, right? They want us to believe that Erika Kirk is some superhero Christian. Like she's like bulletproof, just like Charlie's neck. Sorry, she's not. Oh my God. JK, you guys could hear that. Let's see. Loretta, I think he believed what he was saying, but it became a talking point rather than a lived reality. Exactly. Yep. It was a product he was selling. Anyways, you know, it's no secret my technical skills aren't great, but I did that for us today so that every once in a while I can hit that button and we can all get a good laugh about that. So, okay, so the other thing was Erika reinventing herself. We do that. But hers seems to just be lie after lie and climb after climb. We do. My whole thing, the whole name of my program is Teresa Better Life. Welcome in, by the way. Hit like, subscribe, hit the heart next to the chat so the algorithm knows we're here. Subscribe all to the things, thumbs up this. Anyway, reinventing yourself and all that. I lost my train of thought when I veered off here for a second. Anyways, she, reinventing yourself is one thing. Climbing, that's the whole thing. The premise of my show is one thing that has been consistent through my life. When I thought about doing this show, I'm like, what could I name it? Because names are important. They are. And I'm like, what's been the one consistent thing throughout my life? Because my life has been topsy-turvy, chaotic. It's been really wonderful, once I started healing from my past trauma and stuff. And that's lovely. But the one thing that's been a consistent thread throughout my entire life was how can I make it better? How can I be better? How can I do better? Hers was, how can I get more, though, is what it seems. Not how can I be better for the people I love, for the people around me, for my community. How can I get more from everybody and get more for for myself. So, Doom Ling. Hello. Does that mean hello? I don't know. If I'm ignorant of what things mean, I'm sorry. I'm just I might be kind of dumb sometimes. I apologize. Anyway, hello, welcome in. It's good to see you. Let's see. So the other thing is that her ex claims that she's completely different, and about the grandpa. So I was thinking about this again, like why would she say that about the grandpa? Like, I want to know what more she said about the grandpa. Is there more to the story other than grandpa came to me? Your dead grandpa came to me in my dreams, which I believe in dreams 100%. Some are just nonsense. Your mind's processing through all the things that you're going through. Other things are really meaningful, and I do believe, in spiritual dreams like that. But the other thing that I realized, I'm like, wait a minute. Meghan Markle sprayed Diana's perfume on herself or around to attract Harry. Did you guys know that? Like, I don't pay a lot. I know that people hate on Meghan Markle and they think she's fake and all of that. So I just didn't know that was like, if that was a real, like, literal thing. How close are we to time? What time is she going on? 4:30. Okay. So should we look it up? Did you guys see or hear anything about that? Let me go. That is so gross and creepy. I want to know. Hold on, let's go. I'm going to share my screen. Let's go. Let's do this. Okay, wait. There we go. Okay. Where did this come from? Did Meghan, I don't know how to, is it A or Y? Markle spray Diana's perfume. Okay, wait. How Meghan Markle uses, can you guys see that? Is it, how come it's not showing? My screen's not showing. Hold on. Share this tab. Okay. How Meghan Markle used Princess Diana's favorite perfume to charm Prince Harry. That's so creepy. You guys. It's true. Meghan Markle may have captivated Prince Harry by wearing Princess Diana's favorite perfume when they first met. This strategic choice possibly evoked strong emotions in Harry, contributing to their early connection. Their first meeting left a profound impact, with Harry being struck by Meghan's effortless style and beauty. That's sick. Yes. Charco. Yes. Oh my gosh. Talk about mind control. That's weird. Okay. Did Meghan subtly captivate Prince Harry by evoking yes, sense, sight, lighting, sounds. They are in our limbic system. They're like grooves in our brain. They're paths in our brain that we remember. That's really weird. Yes, Loretta. The traumatic way he lost his mother just makes it so wrong. Okay, now if I had known this, I might have jumped on the hate Meghan Markle bandwagon. According to royal biographer Angela Levin, Meghan strategically wore Princess Diana's favorite perfume during their initial meeting, an act that was said to leave a lasting impact on Harry's heart, of course. Levin suggests that Meghan's choice of fragrance gave her an insider advantage to winning Harry's affection, noting the first time they met, she had his perfume on. Of course, Harry was just overwhelmed by that because he was a boy who loved cuddling up to his mother. The detail hints at a deep symbolic connection between Meghan and Diana. That's gross. Potentially stirring emotions for Harry that went beyond mere attraction. That's you. Ew. That's ick. Oedipus? Is that Oedipus? Is that one of the Oedipus complex where they want to be with their mother? But I'm sure it was just emotions and intimate closeness. But that's gross. The couple's first date took place at the exclusive Soho House in London, a private members club. Prince Harry, as he recounted in his memoir Spare, was late by about half an hour due to traffic, a delay that would set the tone for their initial meeting. Meghan, I'd be so mad if somebody was late for our first date. Meghan, who had other dinner plans, excused herself to leave, but despite the brief interaction, their connection was undeniable. Maybe he wore the cologne her dad used to wear. That was gross. Is Meghan older than Harry? And yes. Ew. Let me see. Let me ask the internet. I'm going to copy this so I don't have to remember how to spell. Let's see. I'm going to look it up. Oh, that's not going to, okay, that's not going to work. It didn't let me just copy and paste that. Is Meghan Markle older than Harry? No, she's younger. He was born in 84 and she was born in 81. Okay. So, okay, let's see. Is there anything else we want to read? Okay. He didn't mention that. Okay. Undeniable connection. Although he didn't mention the perfume, instead he was struck by her effortless style, which is what they said about Princess Diana. Harry recalled Meghan wearing a simple black sweater. She probably tried to dress like Diana. Jeans, heels, admitting I knew nothing about clothes, but I knew she was chic. Then again, she could make anything look chic. He continued to describe how she looked even more stunning in person than in many photos he had seen of Meghan in fashion shoots and TV appearances, calling her heart attack beautiful. Wow, she cast a spell. I wonder how they are now. Do you guys know? Wait, she's older? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I'm confused. Thank you for that higher math. It gives me a problem. Yeah, so she was born in 81, he was in 84. Yeah, so she's older. Ew. Okay. Hi, Unfiltered. Let's see. I'm here. Just have you on TV and my phone's plugged in. Awesome. JK. Hi, everybody's saying hi in the chat. Good. Okay, so that was really gross. I didn't know if that was actually true, like if that was a really thing or if it was like sarcasm or whatever. That's a whole other level of spell. So knowing that Erika, okay. So Erika, this just gets me to Erika. So knowing about what she said about the grandfather coming to visit her ex's grandfather coming to visit her, whatever she said, she had to have believed in more of the esoteric things. And if she was MK Ultra'd and, brainwashed and all of that, she would could potentially be into the spell casting, into the mind control and the things like that, and utilizing that on Charlie. So what I go back and forth between is it intentional? Is she a product of being a victim? What do you guys think? Tell me, I have to know. Do you think she's a victim? Do you think she's calling the shots? I think she was raised to be this way. I think she likes being this way. And I don't think she's going to change. Are guys usually struck by a woman's effortless style? Guys in the chat, tell us. Hi, Michelle. If I didn't say hello, hello. That's a good question. I know my husband's like not. I mean, maybe now we've been married for going on 26 years, and so maybe he could appreciate it now. He's a country boy from Idaho. And he doesn't care much about style. And he doesn't know a lot about it. Are you dressed? Fine, you're fine. It's interesting that Chris Watts talks about being put under a spell by Nicole, not excusing him. Okay, so who's Chris Watts? Do I have to look that up? Should I know that? Who's Chris Watts? Christopher Watts. Is this the murderer? Jets. No, find a girl that is kind. Yes. Yes, kind and fun. I mean, yeah, my husband is more like, just no fluff, whatever. I mean, he now appreciates it. Like if I get dressed up and, put makeup on and, look nice and stuff like that. But he doesn't care. He could really actually care less. He just cares about what's on the inside. So, Loretta, is this like convicted killer Chris Watts blames women in new prison? Is that who you're talking about? I don't know this guy. Hold up. Oh, here's what's her name? Ashley Banfield. I'm going to share this tab. She's in the Epstein files.
Not to blame for what happened to Shanann and to Bella and to Celeste and his unborn son. Nope. The women in his life are to blame. The Daily Mail just got its hands on some letters written by Watts at the Dodge Correctional Institute. That is a maximum security prison in central Wisconsin, where he was sent.
Wisconsin.
And he has been there for the last 6 years. The letters show a man determined to find anyone but himself responsible for his diabolical behavior. He actually addressed his letters to God, zip code unknown. And he first unloads on his mistress, Nicole Kessinger, writing this: I was misled. I was tempted by a harlot. I was weak, and I allowed myself to be fooled by an evil woman. She led me from the path of righteousness. I know that you will deal with her someday. She will be judged. You know my heart, Lord. I am a man after your heart. I seek your face. I allowed her to sway me. FYI, Nicole Kessinger told the police that she was dating a man who told her that he was separated and divorcing. But then when his wife and children disappeared, she got very scared and she called the police immediately, leading to his arrest. But Watts doesn't stop with Nicole Kessinger. No. He unloads on other women too, mostly unnamed women, calling them...
Okay, so did you guys know that Ashley Banfield's in the Epstein files? This reporter, after Epstein was under investigation and all that, she had asked to be introduced to him, asked if he was still single because she was interested in possibly a date. Nobody's talking about that part. One of our other, I think it was Retroplank I haven't seen her in here. I hope she's well. If you see this later, Retro Plank, hello. And yes, so she had talked about Ashley Banfield. But okay, so this is crazy. So he said she put him under a spell. Huh. Okay. I'm gonna come back. Okay, let's see what you guys said. John, I didn't see this one. I think Megan and Erika are similar. They both married men with great potential. Both women are fake. I wasn't sure if I saw that before. Let's see. Loretta says, yeah, not related to this case, but he was having an affair and said he felt like he was put under a spell. Interesting. Craziness. You're only a victim till rectification, 80%-ish rate. Recidification. That's Chris. Oh, okay. We've got 2 minutes. Let me get queued up here and get Candace refreshed on my screen and ready to share when she comes on. Awesome. So did you guys come away with any questions yesterday that you're hoping to get answered from what Candace said? There was a lot. I was going over, so when we were looking at Lori France and Jerri France, their date of births are just like 7 years apart. It looks like Lori possibly was born in 1950 from what I could find today. And Jerri France was born in 1943. That's 7 years. And I wonder if it has anything to do with Erika's birth and birth mother and any of that. So anyways, that's what my mind was going at. Like what, is it possible? I know this sounds kind of off, but and I don't know if I'm off thinking it, but I was like, is it possible that no, that wouldn't have been the case. Okay. Anyways, I was trying to put the pieces together. I couldn't figure anything out. But their birth dates, I don't know, all the dates that I had written down from yesterday, there's, it makes me think that Erika was not born to Lori. And that they're hiding that. There was something else I had. Hold on. Okay, MK Ultra. So I was looking into MK Ultra because, you know, we think a lot of people might have, and they're still running that on us as a society globally, but it looks like MK Ultra, the CIA, like obviously they're still calling us conspiracy theory, but it succeeded earlier projects. So Project Bluebird was before MK Ultra in the late 1940s to 1951. And then Project Artichoke from 1951 to 1953. But they always, whenever they shut these programs down, they just rebrand it as something else. So let's see. MK Ultra, okay, Project Artichoke, 1951 to 53, and 1964 to 65. The CIA Inspector General report concluding that full mind control is unachievable and that it was just done for research and that they should not do anything with it because they can't achieve it. Well, I think they figured that out. And I think AI is their answer. And then putting those chips in our brains is the other answer. Thank you, Elon Musk. You're not very innocent, even though you want to act like you're the good guy. He's part of that good cop, bad cop poll that I was telling you about that they like to do. Okay, let's see. I want to make sure we don't miss Candace. I refresh my screen. Okay, back to MK Ultra. I want to keep that. Let me go ahead and let's do that so that we can see it when it starts. Okay. And then there was MK Naomi, a joint CIA DOD effort from the 1950s to the 1970s. And that focused more on biological chemical agents and delivering them to our systems. Like through shots, like through stuff they spray in the air, maybe. So the biochemical realm, and that supposedly ended around 1969 to 70 with Nixon's biological weapons ban. Claims that MK Ultra secretly continues today. Conspiracy. We're just conspiracy theorists. No truth to that. And then I was looking into Project Looking Glass, which again, there's no credible declassified evidence of that, but we know that's only a matter of time because they'll find out, our grandchildren will find out it was real, say 30 years from now or so. Let's see. Bill Wood. Okay, claims the suggested origins were in the 70s, which makes sense because that's when they, put an end to the other stuff. So, like I said, they rebrand. As soon as they get busted and they have to say, oh, we're going to close it down, we're shutting it down, they just rename it and rebrand it. Kind of like they do our medicines. They have the brand name one, and then they have the no-name brand one, and everything's the same. And did you guys know that some of our pet medicines, my husband was showing me this, the allergy medicine for pets at the grocery store, the Benadryl, has the same ingredients, the same dosage, and the same inactive ingredients as our Benadryl, but they mark it up a bunch. It's just marked up. It's just rebranded because they want to get us coming and going. They want to keep us in this constant push, pull, tug, this constant friction. I would say this just constant friction. It's just always going. I'm refreshing my screen. Okay, so Project Looking Glass, blah, blah, blah. It's not happening. Okay, early operational testing in 1974. Let me refresh this. Expansions and name changes. Okay, so now we're getting to Stargate Project, or Stargate, around 1991. Started running, and then that terminated in 95. Overall duration, government-funded remote viewing. Oh, so then we go to remote viewing from 1972 to 1995. With 20 million invested. So it went from Project Looking Glass to remote viewing. And if you guys have, we talked about in previous shows that part of the experiment is on psychological trauma, emotional trauma, because that changes a person and it makes them more connected, to ESP, more connected spiritually to where they can do more of these psychic phenomena, which they're still testing. Let's see. She changed her time to 4:45. Thank you. Jeff says, yes, same numbers, letters, color of pill. It's the same exact thing, but triple the price. Okay, got it. Yep, also Zyrtec, HCl, great for dogs with seasonal allergies. I back in my 20s, I lived in California in my early 20s, and I had a roommate, and she was an older woman. I lived on her like ranch. She had horses, and she kenneled horses and dogs and that. But she would take care of these horses, and they had big antibiotic pills. And I got sick one time, and I'm like, well, I can't afford to go to the doctor. And she says, well, here, have these antibiotics. And I was terrified. I'm like, am I going to turn into a horse taking horse antibiotics? They were huge. But anyway, she said, no, it's the exact same thing. And yeah, so I took horse antibiotics, you guys. It's strange. I do it still today. My kids always tease me because I have like a whole pharmacy cabinet of medicines. You guys might be scared, but like antibiotics, like if I'm like, I think I have an antibiotic, I'm not finishing it or whatever, I'm fine. And back in the day, your parents said, you got to finish the antibiotics. There's times I don't, and I just keep it in there. So somebody gets sick, I'm like, hey, I have an antibiotic for you. Jay Anthony, been following since yesterday, phone slipped. LOL. Hi, Jay Anthony. Jeff says, remember people who were taking horse medication for COVID? Yes. Your boss did that? Did it work? Vectromycin or whatever. What was that called? Jeff, was his name Joe? He said Joe Rogan. What was that? You know what I did want to say, and we have a little bit of time. Martin Short's daughter. Did you guys hear about her? Her passing. Let me get Martin Short daughter. I'm going to pull this up to see, because I thought there was something I wanted to look at today, but I didn't have time. So Martin Short postponed his Minneapolis show after his daughter's death. Yeah, ivermectin. That's it. Yes. Joe Rogan. Ivermectin. That's the one. Yeah. That's funny. Anyways, that's so sad. Did you guys hear? So Martin Short have postponed. Oh, Steve Martin. I didn't realize. Is that weird? Why did I think Steve Martin passed away? Like he wasn't around anymore. Is it just because we don't see him? I don't like them. I mean, I'm not a fan. I don't like that kind of humor. I like a different type of humor, and that's just not my thing. But it's just heartbreaking. Suicide of a loved one, and especially a child. I mean, anybody like you're close to, just to know that they left in that way, just the amount of guilt, and you'd go back in your mind and think of everything you did wrong. And it's the same whenever you lose anybody. I think you go back and you try to question, could I have done something different or better? Or did I, say something, which is so weird why it makes it even more weird how Erika is, because she hasn't like once in her first interview, she did say, I didn't get to kiss him goodbye, but she said it with a sneer, like she was angry about it in some sort of way. Let's see, what is Jeff? You guys are on the medicine still. I don't like taking any medication if I can help it. Let the body heal itself. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. All right. You guys, I need to tip my tip jar for the singing. That's just, I'll preemptively just break out into song every once in a while. That's what I do, as well as walk around the house and talk to myself. I'll just say words, just words. I'll just like, a word will pop in my head and I'll just say it. Run with it. Great voice. Thank you. I thought that was probably a little bit screechy. I don't think Donald Trump would be inviting me on any of his reality shows. I wouldn't get invited back. JK, you walk around and I'll just say, in fact, so my husband works from home and I said I was walking around. Sometimes I forget people are here. And so a word will pop in my head and I'll say it out loud. And I think I did. And he's like, what? I'm like, I just said a word. It's fine. Go about your business. I'm good. I am okay. So are you guys on, did you guys see any updates on what they're saying about Candace today on X? Let's pop over here and see. Candace. Is Candace in the news still, or did they let it go? I have not been on. I've been digging today. Graham Allen. Oh, this is from before. I don't want to flip my screen and miss. She's got 2 minutes. Nick Fuentes. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I was going to show you guys. President Trump. Oh, what he was saying about, oh, maybe I'll pull it up later. I don't want to, I'm afraid to pop off and not be here. But anyways, President Trump released a good thing, a big old spiel about not being able to make a move with Anthropic. So he was just going off on them. That's just for looks. It's just for optics. They don't, they know who they intend to give that to. And maybe they're purposely wanting more and saying they want more because they want Anthropic to bow out so they can give it to Altman. They're just playing us just like every other thing. Matt Walsh said something today. Let me look real quick. Was it softball stuff? Or was it harsh? Matt Walsh. February 26th, I saw yesterday. New build nightmare. Okay, I don't see it. Something ripping off Americans. Laura Loomer is getting more unhinged regarding Tucker. She's calling for Trump to step in and do what exactly? Kill him? Maybe that's what she's reaching for. I had seen something like that. They're like saying Tucker Carlson is out of control. Oh yeah. And did you guys hear that Huckabee had told everybody over in Jerusalem to leave? Like he's like, you guys leave now, sooner than later. So that's kind of scary. Bongino is not. He got paid in some type of way to go away. But yeah, Mike Huckabee sent a letter to all his people over there saying it, you might want to leave because things aren't looking good. So they're expecting, there was supposed to be some big meeting that happens next week, and it was looking promising, but now that Huckabee is telling them to go ahead and get flights out and that the State Department will pay for it and all of that, leads everybody to believe that they're planning before next week to have war. War. Good God. Okay. I'm scrolling back over here. Nobody heard about Martin Short. Nobody cared about Martin Short. Nobody cares about Martin Short, or you just didn't know about it. Okay. I'm getting worried that this isn't going to update. Okay. Nobody put any notes in here. Let's see about if there had any questions that you're hoping Candace will answer today about Erika. And if it's going to be, let's take a vote. Do you think this will wrap it up, or do you think she's going to go another day? Do you think it's going to run into next week? I'm saying it's going to go. Let's go I wonder what Polymarket says. Is Candace on Polymarket? Let's see. Polymarket. I have not checked. Prediction market. Let's look at search power. I'm going to look for Candace Owens. Oh my gosh. Do you guys ever do this? No. Let's see. Erika Kirk. Let's look at if Erika Kirk's in Polymarket. No, they're looking at, they do like presidential nominees, nothing like that. Sometimes they do some crazy things over here. I'm like, they're betting on that? Next week, you're saying, yeah. Debunking Erika Kirk theory. Sorry, it was yesterday, but I saw it today. Oh, yeah, that's okay. Next week, there's so much. It's got to go more than just one day. I'm thinking more. Yeah, I think it'll go into next week. And I think she's having an affair with Andrew Colvett. Okay, let's go. Let's see if Iran is in here. Iran war. She's on. Okay. By the end of the month, 44% that Trump will invoke war powers against Iran. All right, we're ready, guys. Thanks, Jets. Let's go. It's getting ready. What are your party plans? Does anybody have a fun, a favorite Friday night cocktail or ritual, you know, that you just do every Friday night? Movies, TV, working out, taking a jog. TV. A good movie. Oh, and there's movies I have. I'm going to watch and have some recommendations for you next week. Pizza. Oh, that sounds amazing, actually. J. Anthony says pizza. Let's go. Going Max. Jargo. Yes, actually, my stomach's growling. I'm hungry. Pizza and a movie. So I just found out about these two movies, and it has to do with the stuff we're talking about, like Leslie Wexner. Let me see if I can find it. Surviving Ohio. It's the Ohio State controversy. So that's one I'm going to watch this weekend. And then there's one, I Bid You Peace. And it's about the Frugal Gourmet. You guys remember the Frugal Gourmet? He was a cooking show. And that's a 5-part series, and that's only streaming that's a website documentary. So, Surviving Ohio State. It was done in 2025. And they still have ongoing litigation, and I've reached out to people in that litigation, and I'm asking for information and interviews, and we'll see what we get. Oh, I'll tell you guys in a break.
All right, you guys, happy Friday. We are going on a journey. All right, a journey. So yesterday we told you that by all accounts, the voice that is in Erika's ear is Lori, her mother. Lori is the pusher, the consigliere. Now, as a part of the public psychological campaign, Erika has been curating videos to remind us that her mother is very ill. I don't dispute that. I do dispute that Erika was with her on September 10th receiving a treatment, but we'll get to that later. Not important for today. Lori Franz-Fay, despite being ill, has recently been put on the board of Superfeed Technologies alongside Turning Point Action's COO, Tyler Boyer. Shady dude. They're effectively then business partners. They have been for a while, actually. Lori was at first a director over at Superfeed. Rumors have been swirling online that money from Turning Point Action has been routed into Superfeed. Now, I'm not a forensic accountant, so I can neither confirm nor deny that. The point is, what I want you to take away here is that these two are in cahoots, okay? Now, we earlier broke the story that Tyler Boyer is, among other things, allegedly taking Turning Point into the business of real estate in particular. It might be relevant then that we learn a little bit, a thing or two, about a witness to Lori's frankly bizarre divorce documents that we went over. Now, I know, she's a grieving widow. She's a grieving widow. Very required that I say that. And we are therefore not allowed to speak about her Turning Point family or why the hell her mother was ever put on any board in the first place. But you know what? Billions of dollars are on the line, so I'd like to mark myself safe from being emotionally manipulated by Operation Erika Bird. Welcome back to Bride of Erika.
You guys, I called it. I said that they were going to get involved in real estate.
Dang. Man, oh man, Loretta Abbas, or, Wallstad, Franz Fay, Guinta. Something ain't right. Too many LLCs, too many households, always lurking behind her daughter, shady divorce docs, curated content. Even the lawyer on those shady divorce docs, Rebecca Kay, may she rest in peace. But even she was involved with horse racing. Is everybody somehow maybe connected to gambling? I want to know. All I know is that with mom, the vibes are not vibing for me, okay? Lottery tickets flying in the air with her grandma, grandparents. Well, on Monday's episode, or I guess earlier this week, Wednesday's episode, we went through Lori and Kent's divorce documents, right? The only 2 out of about 6 or so documents that were available. And we determined that something wasn't right. 4 different dates to the alleged wedding between Lori and Kent, an unnotarized childcare agreement, plus a different date for Erika's birthday than the one initially listed in the Cincinnati News. November 22nd, across 4 sets of documents. But we caution people at home, like, hey, there's other docs. Therefore, it's plausible that those remaining documents made some necessary changes. Caution, I said, caution. But you guys don't listen. One of you guys went ahead and tore the caution tape down, sent to me all the remaining documents. And those were interesting. I'll have you know that Erika's birthday on all of them is November 22nd. Yeah, it is. Her name is spelled differently a few times too. Erika with the C. We'll go over that next week. Because what I want to talk about is a person that was in these documents. There was another person mentioned, someone who is listed as the witness to these shenanigans. That's how I am going to hitherto refer to the divorce documents, the shenanigans. And that witness, his name is Richard Urban Beck. I'll show you that here. Now, what I am blurring out on this document is it had his address, which allowed me to definitively confirm which Rick Urban Beck we were speaking about. Who is the one that actually was the witness? Urban Beck, by the way, anybody that's gone through following any of the people on X that have been deep diving alongside me, you will know that Urban Beck is not an unusual name when it comes to Lori's businesses. This is actually the family that she uses many times to either notarize or to flat out incorporate her very many LLCs, regarding which, I just want to say this, I'm never able to figure out what the heck the purposes of these LLCs are. What do these businesses actually do? Lori has LLCs coming out of her ears, okay? Lori's got a lot going on. And I want to say something else. Her professional backstory in and of itself, it's odd. It's kind of like Erika odd, to be honest, right? Lori Ann was a model. By her second marriage, we discover that she's working as a secretary. She then must have fallen and bumped her head and became a technological genius. There was no evidence of it, but then suddenly, whoop, she's arrived and she is just putting together tech companies, as many people do. I am waiting for that late stage technological brilliance to fall upon me because I can barely sort through my apps. I don't even know how to get to the App Store in a fast enough time. Let me take you through the litany of LLCs that she has filed. This is Lori which feature Richard or Donna Urban Beck as either the secretary, the incorporator, the notary, across a 25-year period. Okay. Now, Lori filed for Eurotech in June of 1993. What does it do? Nobody knows, but Rick was featured. Lori and Rick filed for Eurotech International UK. Nobody knows. That was in 1995. She filed for Tech Metrics International, 1993. And in the available 1998 docs pertaining to it, Richard Urban Beck is again listed as the secretary. Lori and Rick filed for Tech Metrics Limited. That's International UK in 95. She also filed for virtual registration. Okay, in December of 1999, you can see that we've got both Donna and Rick Urban Beck had signed off on that. Also, does that say, yeah, there you go. You see Lori's signature. Everyone's kind of involved in getting these documents together. And then we know Lori files for AZ Tech. She goes to Arizona. We're in Europe. We're doing tech everywhere.
those
That's
were
in
in
August of
Ohio.
1997. And she eventually renames that E3 Tech in 2017. Again, her, Rick, Donna, you can go through these docs yourself. Their names are on there. Now, look, I've been around. I've seen some stuff. I can tell you my instinct when I see a ton of LLCs and I don't know what the heck they're doing, especially when they're identifying themselves as tech, as a technology, that should be easily identifiable. Okay, you're a tech genius. In my mind, and I'm not saying this is the circumstance, but my unprofessional opinion, my mind goes to money laundering, right? Got to get rid of money. People got to start creating LLCs. Now you're thinking, because you're very sensible, hey, maybe that's not the case. There's no evidence for that. Good. Even the thought of that, just thinking about that would make us a demon. No, everything's above board, always. Now, Rick Urban Beck, under that scenario, might just be a fantastic businessman. He certainly, like I said, is a longtime business associate of Lori's, following her from Ohio to Arizona. And also, there's a Donna Urban Beck mentioned, who's also featured on the divorce docs, on her business docs. So it sounds like it's a family business. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to tell you a little bit about that Urban Beck family. The Urban Beck scandal, as it was termed, that went down between Ohio and Kentucky around 2002. Oddly, the exact year that Lori and Erika head out to Notre Dame Prep. More on that later. I'll have a timeline for you. So there was a massive home building company called Urban Beck Company. It was, as it sounds, owned and operated by generations of the Urban Beck family. The family had 4 brothers: Bill Urban Beck, our boy Rick Urban Beck, Gary Urban Beck, married 4 brothers, to Donna Urban Beck, who we just saw as a notary. And we have Jeff Urban Beck, plus their dad, Tony. You're never going to forget their dad, Tony, and their sister, Lori Ann Urban Beck. Now, the Urban Becks approached new homeowners offering to help them with construction, sometimes offering pathways for them to cut down financial fees pertaining to their new home ownership. You know, pay us directly, we'll handle the rest kind of a deal. Young people buying homes for the first time, but the homes, it turns out, were not being built. And their mortgages, it turned out, were not being paid either. Take a listen to this news clip.
Urban Beck served 21 years after pleading guilty to defrauding banks of $34 million. That was back in April of 2003. So he was a home builder who funneled the proceeds from home closings back to his company and himself. So his crimes left hundreds of home buyers on the hook for millions of dollars in unpaid mortgages.
I really don't want to have that clip undersell to you what went down. I just want you guys to understand what this case was about. It was about missing money, $34 million seemingly evaporated from well-meaning people who were trying to buy their homes. It was, like I said, Ohio, Kentucky case that was for the ages. I am talking real courtroom drama, forged documents, shady subcontractors. Check out just some snippets from articles recapping this case. I'm going to get to this part. Lori Ann Urban Beck was a standout character. Tells us that by 2004, Lori Urban Beck seemingly had enough of her family. She already knew that her brother Bill had thought about killing her. So when dad, Tony, offered to give her $500 for her birthday. She then turned the conversation to her testimony about Bill. She held her ground. No, she was not going to lie under oath. Pardon. Tony offered her money to change her testimony about Bill. Lori told her lawyer about the conversation, and the FBI was looped in. She agreed to wear a wire to capture information. This is the sister. Over the next few days, she met with her dad and Bill as they tried to convince her to agree to a fake storyline. And then she started the fraud to help the company's cash flow, and that it got over her head. Then she let Bill assume responsibility. The FBI soon arrested both men. Oh, okay. Sister wore a wire. Let's read this portion. The proposed $1 million hits. Okay, Tony Urban Beck, that's dad, had been in a federal medical prison in Lexington for just a few months when he tried to hire someone to murder and kidnap the people connected with putting him and his son behind bars. He wanted then senior U.S. District Judge S. Arthur Spiegel and then retired Assistant U.S. Attorney Kathleen Brinkman killed. Tony also targeted an FBI agent's children. He told a would-be hitman to bury the agent's 3 kids in a casket with crackers, water, and an air pipe for 10 days. He recruited a fellow inmate about to be released from prison to commit the crimes with the inmate flipped on Urban Beck and wore a wire for the FBI. The recording caught Tony Urban Beck offering to pay fake hitman $500,000 in gold stock first. Then Urban Beck planned to pay the man and another $500,000 from offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands after news of the kidnappings hit the newspapers. Oh, okay. Here's another piece of just this case. This case is amazing. This is a $250,000 on the green. Bill Urban Beck lost thousands of dollars when he ratted out his own friend in 2009. Oh man, this one goes on, and he asked his friend to put $250,000 to dig it up, dig a hole and put the money in there so that he had a little cash when he got out. Okay. Another personal favorite portion of mine from the news of that day is the notary testifying that Rick's brother Bill would sometimes ask her to notarize documents while the person involved was not even present, right? She said Bill Urban Beck sometimes asked her to notarize documents when the people who supposedly had signed them were not in her presence. Oh, yeah. That's illegal. And it is exactly what I pointed out to you guys, having not known this whole story and background, not knowing that this Rick was going to come up in the documents that I couldn't access at the time. I said, something's not right here. I'm a notary up in New York. That jumps out at me. It seems odd that anybody would sign away their rights to a court case, a legal representation, without a notary being present. That just did not seem to me to be a clerical error. Anyway, documents in the courts absent notarization. It's not how court cases work. It looked to me like someone was looking the other way. Like somebody maybe knew the county clerk and was up to no good. Now, like they told you, like these newspapers are telling you, when things were going down, Lori Ann, sister, wanted to cooperate with the police. That was a no-no. You'd never go against the family. So they started threatening her. Then she goes into hiding until she gets a phone call from her dad, Tony. And her dad tells her, "It's the last time you might see me." She thinks he's going to commit suicide. So she runs down to the house, comes out of hiding, only to realize her brothers, Bill, Gary, Rick, they're there telling her, hey, okay, brothers are there. Lori doesn't care. You read, we went through already. She wears wire for the feds, meets up with dad again, yada, yada, yada. She's terrified Bill is going to kill her. The recording is played in court. They get him. They get Tony. Bill pleads guilty. He picks up additional charges for threatening to kill his sister. He's ultimately sentenced to 30 years in prison. He ends up serving 21 years after a judge later shortens his sentence. His dad, Tony, who had just been sentenced to 5 years and 10 months for bank fraud, with a concurrent sentence for 60 months for obstruction of justice. Well, he later then received another 20 years because, he tried to hire the hitman to kill the U.S. district judge and the U.S. attorney and the FBI agent's children. Okay. That's the Urban Beck family. Lori Ann, the sister, does a year, 1 count of bank fraud. Brothers Gary and Jeff get off scot-free. Rick Urban Beck, the youngest of the clan, Lori's Urban Beck, agrees to let go of his Kentucky legal license, but he otherwise avoids any charges because his name was not on the business. But he did have to testify. And throughout his testimony, we learn that one of the big mysteries of this case was why his father, Tony, had transferred so much money to LLCs that were under Rick's control. We can read this together. Here we go. In his deposition Thursday, Rick Urban Beck testified, "You'd have to ask my dad. Actually, what was in his head? I saw it as a good investment. He had already always, helped the other boys out from the beginning. I was the one who worked 2 jobs, 3 jobs through college, 2 jobs through law school while he was helping out, the other boys, the Urban Beck company. And he wanted to give me the opportunity to purchase these assets." That's, they say right there, the biggest question to be answered is why Tony Urban Beck agreed to shift so much money into Rick Urban Beck's control. No, mystery. Rick made out real nice because he wasn't involved with the business.
Wow, you
He's a
guys.
hardworking kid. His family's just up to it. But you want to know what never happened? You know who didn't make out nice? The homeowners. They never got their money back. Where did it go? Some of us, some of it, of course, went to Bill's lavish lifestyle. But where did the rest of the money get siphoned off to? It's just one big Scooby-Doo mystery. Anyway, the story goes in 2024, Bill Urban Beck does get released from prison. Apparently, like it shows us, he attempted to stow away some cash. It's just like a never-ending scandal. Take a listen.
The Urban Beck name was back in the news in 2009 when FBI agents dug up a cooler full of cash from Summit Hills Country Club in Crestview Hills. A friend had buried money that he received from Urban Beck on the course next to Urban Beck's former home. Urban Beck had hoped to use that money after he got out of prison.
Darn.
Now, why is this relevant? Why is this story relevant? Because it just seems to be the case that
Easy come,
fraud
easy go.
surrounds Lori Franzfey, Wallstead, whatever her name is. Fraud just seems to surround her, from her parents to her grandparents to the person that's doing her documents. It's just always around her, to her very many businesses, and nobody knows what they do. She just can't seem to get away with it. And do you know what's crazy to me? That despite her obviously being very much aware of who the Urban Becks were, a case which included attempts of coordinated murder and kidnapping of children, putting them into boxes, Lori didn't seem scared. No, she didn't go, "Hey, maybe I just don't want to. I know it sounds like you really were just at school and you don't know why you got all this money, but I'm good. Yeah, I think if my lawyer called me, if I looked into Noah, and Noah, his family's in prison for murdering and putting people in boxes or threatening to put people in boxes, and it's a trial of the century, I'd say, you know what? I can probably figure out how to incorporate my LLC by myself. It's really easy now. Everything's so easy these days. Like, I'm good, Noah. Thank you." Not Lori. No, not for Lori. She brings this guy in, and it just so happens to be, I know it's so coincidental, these are clerical errors, just so happens to be that she's got some docs that look a little shady. And I looked through those documents, and no, it was not corrected. And no, Erika's birthday never does, even across different documents, seem to go back to the 20th. So Lori did not at all, I guess, have the impetus to think that maybe working with this family in any capacity was immoral, demonic. What are some of the adjectives that they keep describing me as? Yeah, all of those. No, she was good. It's interesting that Lori sends Erika to Tesseract in Arizona, and the school then suddenly has to shutter its doors because it, once again, another financial scandal. Money evaporates. Nobody knows where it went. People think that it may have been a scam. That just keeps happening. It must be just so scary for Erika to see this so much in her life. I'm scared. I'm scared for Erika. That's why I'm doing this series. I'm scared for her. She's a grieving widow. Later on, Lori's going to start working with the Farnsworths, camera guy, taking down the camera. And then she's going to strike up this partnership with Tyler Boyer, this very shady COO of Turning Point Action, who is going to introduce Erika to Charlie Kirk. And in the background, Lori and Tyler are going to do business together. Now, remember when people wondered why it was that Lori was a board member at Superfeed Technologies. And I'm in front of Erika, and I told you guys that the answer that Erika gave me was because they just needed a familiar name. Yeah, I was born yesterday. Let's go with that. I was born on Thursday, yesterday. And Tyler and Lori, by the way, Superfeed, already objectively involved in scandal. You could look this up yourself. Claims of bribery. I think I had it, the headline in Yahoo News. Kari Lake's bribery scandal involves a shady GOP tech firm. Yeah, they're referring to Superfeed Technologies, had its business revoked by the state of Arizona while it employed Jeff DeWitt, its former COO, and Lake, who had received more than $100,000 from the entity in the personal financial disclosure that she filed last month. How weird. How weird. I just want to be clear. Lori's a victim. Everywhere she goes, this just happens. Money goes missing everywhere she goes, even when her daughter's just going to school. Okay. And
Great.
Tyler Boyer, probably the same. I know that he recently required a literal federal pardon from the President of the United States for fraud. He was credibly accused of 9 felonies related to trying to subvert the election, including fraud, forgery, and conspiracy. He's still facing state charges. But that's just... everybody just doesn't understand how much Turning Point is going through right now. And they're really sad. They're really sad. They're grieving differently. Yeah. Now, I also broke the news to you, like I said at the top, that Tyler Boyer is telling people that they are now going to get into the real estate business to help young homeowners, because it was Charlie's vision, right? He's telling people that Charlie the ghost, who they can manipulate to do whatever they want, always, he always told students not to go to college and to instead get married young. And therefore, the next logical step would be for Turning Point to go into homeownership, to help them become homeowners. Trust the science. If you think that's weird, that's because you're demonic. Erika's grieving widow. Lori, in case you missed it, is the one person that Erika now posts for sympathy. She's curating Lori, right? To let you know that Lori is sick. That to me felt like a person I should probably be looking into, right? How dare you have any questions about anything right now? Do you know where Erika's going? She just lost her husband and her mom's sick. I think these people are sick in the head. There is something very wrong with Lori. There is something very wrong with Erika. And there is something very wrong with this picture of Lori, Tyler, and Erika Kirk being together. There just is. It's my opinion. It's my show. They really think we are this stupid.
Goosebumps.
Anyway, we'll be right back after a quick break. All right, you guys, thanks.
Okay, guys, some of you are new here. I have to tell you, I told you weeks ago, I told you, what do you want to bet? Turning Point USA, what do you want to bet this organization is going to get into real estate? Okay, normally I keep Candace's thing here. I said, you all, that they are going to get into real estate. They're in deep with Trump. They hire criminals on purpose, you guys. They hire criminals on purpose. They hire fraudsters on purpose. I told you they're going to get into real estate, and I told you they're going to get into finance. You watch, like finance is the next to drop. They are tricky. Okay. What do you guys, Jats, you've been here all along. Cisco's not here. Letters isn't here. Cisco's usually here. Jats, you've been here. Were you here when I talked about them and I said, watch, because they're pushing these mortgages They're these 50-year mortgages, and I'm like, TPUSA is getting in the real estate business. They hire criminals. Trump is a criminal. This is a criminal empire. The whole government is sick and twisted. They're a mafia. They're a mob. It's a government empire, and we're being run by them, and we have to stop it. Holy. Oh my gosh. Hi, Sandra. Definitely going into unexpected places. Corruption goes deep, deep and far. Feels good to be right, doesn't it? I love being right, y'all. As I said in previous posts, there's nothing better than being right, and there's nothing worse than being right. Because you're like, dear God, please let me be wrong. I'm never wrong. I am never wrong. Quimby, hi Quimby. Oh. As with, okay, real estate. So I'm trying to understand this. Is that her husband and father-in-law are metal traders and part of the House of Cards? She's poorly playing her hand. Okay, let's go.
I think Lori comes first. Lori has always come first, and Lori is exceedingly problematic. Okay, I understand she is sick. I understand someday George Soros is going to be sick. Okay, doesn't mean that we don't get to discuss the things he is involved in. The question that I was asking is, what went on with this marriage between Lori and Kent, this alleged marriage between Lori and Kent? Why do I feel like it's not even a real marriage? I see no evidence of the marriage occurring, or like it just seems like I don't know if a marriage can occur across 16 years. I don't know if it can happen that many times across 2 documents. And like I said, we have the other documents, and we will show you them at the beginning of next week. Well, fortunately for me, another sleuth, someone in Marblehead, Massachusetts, said, how can I help? I have access to documents here. I can take a look and see what I can find, Lori and Kent. And they were not able to pull up any marriage documents. Doesn't mean that they don't exist, but they were able to pull up some deeds where Lori and Kent had signed the deeds.
Jets, I'm glad you said that, because Erika, she's going to have to be pushed out. So we have to wonder who they're going to put in her place.
Over, and when they had first received the deed to their home in Marblehead, Massachusetts. And there's a little interesting tidbit here where Lori and Kent are listing as having been a couple from Rhode Island, from North Kingstown, Rhode Island. North Kingston, Rhode Island. First off, I want to tell you that that's not a place. So there's Kingston, I would know, because I went to the University of Rhode Island. There's clerical errors, but there's Kingston, Rhode Island, which is about 2 miles long and is just the University of Rhode Island campus where I graduated from. And then there's South Kingstown, North Kingstown, and apparently they lived there, except I can't find a trace of Lori and Kent having lived in Rhode Island. So my Rhode Island sleuths, people down at the county, maybe in Rhode Island, if you want to take a peek and see if you can find this couple, this lovely couple, and maybe they got married in Rhode Island. Well, I guess no, because their divorce docs say they got married in Marblehead, Massachusetts, but people are saying they can't find those divorce docs. So this makes it seem like they maybe got married in Rhode Island, but you can maybe just get married in Marblehead while you're living together in Rhode Island. Maybe they were renting property. I don't know, but I want to know. You find something, Rhode Islanders, hit me up. More tips at CandaceOwens.com. More tips at CandaceOwens.com. Now jumping back into our Erika timeline. Now, we talked about how she went to this school, Tesseract. It's also going to be a scam, financial scam, but that's fine. She's the victim. After Erika Franz-Fay leaves Tesseract in 2000 because the school is facing a financial crisis, I also want to point out, like I said, the school's being run by Jewish women. They're even renting from a Jewish school, the Looking Glass. And stereotypically, I want to say something. Stereotypically, Jewish people are known for very good accounting, but not in this case. Not sure what happened there. Thereafter, there is evidence, and we have not been able to find anything concrete, but there is evidence that Erika went back up to Ohio for about 3 years, from 2000 to 2002. She apparently attended a school known as St. Ursula Villa. St. Ursula Villa is actually separate from St. Ursula Academy. It's a privately owned, and at first glance, you would think it was a Catholic school, but actually, despite its name and despite it being on the St. Ursula Academy property, it was not owned by the nuns as St. Ursula Academy was. St. Ursula Villa actually had private funding and it was a completely separate from the Catholic Church at this time, from what I'm able to see. So, and I cannot pull up who was funding this school at that time. So if you have yearbooks from St. Ursula Villa, not the broader academy, but St. Ursula Villa, from the years 2000 to, let's take it up to 2003, and you see Erika Franzfey in there, or you remember her being there, please reach out to us. Like I said, these two schools were operating same place, separate entities. Send us an email. What happens next in her life, though, is pretty easy to document. Erika is at Notre Dame Prep. And I should note, I did not know this at the time, but Notre Dame Prep was formerly the Tesseract School, the one that they had to shutter in North Scottsdale. Now the doors are reopened, and it's Notre Dame Prep. And it's very easy to document Erika throughout these years. In 2003, she's playing.
Y'all, this is why she needed prayers. She probably called everyone. She probably has everybody on speed dial. She's got a group text. Pray for me. Oh my Lord. Oh my Lord. This is why she needed prayers.
Volleyball, because she gets involved in sports. We can just find her. And I also want to say this, it's also easy to track her because despite her claim that she got into pageantry because she got a mailer one year. Let's roll that clip of what she said again yesterday.
Was it after that? That's when you started pageants, or when did that come about?
Right. So the pageant world to me is something that it was an interesting season of life. It was nothing that I was ever groomed for. It was nothing that was ever on my radar. I wanted to play professional basketball.
Tomboy.
That was my thing ever since I was 5. Like that was I wanted to play, and that was all I wanted to do. I was a gym rat, for lack of a better term. And I remember getting something in the mail when I had come home from school one summer, and it was like, hey, you should compete at Miss Arizona USA. Someone nominated you. And I was like, I don't know who would nominate me for that, but okay. So I shared it with my mom, and I was reviewing all the different things that you have to go through. And I thought to myself, if I were to ever win this, the most important thing out of it would be to be able to make a difference with the title.
Nice.
I don't care about the photo shoots. I just want to be able to overbook myself, being able to get involved with the local communities, with the local organizations that are actually making a difference. So the pageant world for me was something that was not a form of narcissism. It was more along the terms of being a steward for my state, especially as it hit our 100th year celebration.
Okay, so it wasn't about narcissism. She wasn't groomed. By the way, if you have to say that you weren't groomed for something, you probably were.
You were groomed.
You just kind of say that. It's probably because you were. And the reality is that every single year from 2005 through to 2012, Erika was involved in beauty pageants. So that's 7 years of her life that we could find. There could be more. There could be, she could have been doing pageantry while she was in Ohio for a couple of years. I'll let you know, keep you posted. I should also add here that some pageant women disputed her narrative. They wrote to us that she was just randomly invited. They said that minors in particular are not just freely solicited to join pageant world, and that their photo has to be submitted by a parent or a guardian. I'm not an expert on that. And maybe I wasn't pretty enough. I was a little funny looking, a little bit of an underbite, but I never received any of these mailers that she's talking about. Anyway, let's jump into an Erika timeline, and you guys can follow along here. 2005, Erika is still attending Notre Dame Prep, and she is playing basketball. She was a junior in high school from 2005 to 2006. She is going to win first runner-up in the National America Miss Arizona pageant, and she will represent Arizona in the upcoming All-American Miss pageant in November of 2005, which takes place in Los Angeles. That year, Lori Franzwey is listed in the House bill budget for the U.S. Department of Homeland Securities for another business that she has called IMET Laboratories. Like I said, don't ask me what any of her businesses do. It's not clear. In August, just ahead of Erika's senior year, this is 2006 now. In August, just ahead of her senior year, she's going to win the National American Miss Teen pageant. And she wins a chance and takes it to travel to D.C. to present her plans to Representative J.D. Hayworth and Senator John Kill. Erika becomes involved with a charity known as Andrea's Closet, which works with a hospital in Winslow, Arizona for kids. Erika notes that she stops by that hospital often on the way to basketball games and that she wants to establish her own charity in the future. That year, her father, Kent Franzwey, is listed as a risk assessment contractor. He's mentioned also as a resident of Surprise, Arizona, concerned. Basically, he's trying to get more funding from the DHS. You get this sense that now the family's like, we need government contracts for stuff. That'll work for us. Lori is going to have to close down Virtual Registration International Incorporated, the one that Rick helped her open, because the tax department force closes it for lack of a tax filing. So that tends to happen a lot with some of these LLCs. In 2007, we have Erika winning the Miss American. Her teen year begins. So you have the pageant at the end of a year, and then you have the crown for the following year, for those of you who are like me and do not know how pageantry world works. So if you're competing in 2006, you are competing for 2007, and then 2007 is going to be your year. So that is her Miss American teen year. And that is also the year that she's going to graduate from Notre Dame Prep in the spring, receiving a full basketball and academic scholarship to Regis University, which is in Denver, Colorado. She's also named as a finalist for the Arizona Interscholastic Association's Everyday Heroes Award. Okay, that's the first time you're going to hear an expression, Everyday Heroes. We know that's going to end up being what she calls her charity once it gets minted in 2009, but that's it. She got an award for that, and I guess it's stuck. In the 2007 and 2008 school year, Erika is going to begin playing basketball. She got the scholarship, and she does that. Regis University begins in the fall. I could find 2 newspaper entries of her scoring, November 24th game and against South Dakota, and then another entry on December 1st. And yeah, she's seemingly, if I was just following the paper trail, I would say she had abandoned her scholarship. And I was wondering, like, did she transfer to Loyola Marymount? Like, what happened here? And you should know, of course, never leave Lori out. Lori's first off, she's listed now as having been married to Larry Ginta. That's the first time that we see that, because Joe Abbas dies, and it looks like she is married. Lori and Larry, maybe they're saying that they're just together, who knows, and that's why they're listing him. I'm not positive. But Lori, every year, there's always a new LLC. So Lori is going to file AZ Tech International with Rick Urban Beck on the documents, and that will, they had already filed that. It gets canceled by the tax department. That's right. There's so many LLCs and so many cancellations. This one gets canceled. 2008 is where it gets pretty interesting, because I was trying to find Erika's very present, and suddenly in 2008, I can't find her. Okay. I put this as like Erika's missing school year. Now, she herself disputes this, and various times she says she played basketball for 2 years, and she's going to note in a future alumni packet for Notre Dame that she was indeed playing basketball at Regis University for 2 years, but I could not confirm that. And interestingly enough, Regis University still has her basketball stat page up, and they're on my side. They say they only have a record of her playing from 2007 to 2008. That's the season that she played. Now, she may have just stayed on. It's possible that she continued her study. She said she had an academic scholarship at Regis. I thought that. I was like, maybe she stopped playing basketball and she decided to just focus on her studies, and that's why I can't find her at basketball games. Maybe that's why Regis is not acknowledging that she continued to play. But then I thought, nope, I think something else happened here. She does indeed go missing, because Erika gives an interview in 2020 where she's reflecting on her life. It's a rather obscure interview which has since been removed, by the way. They contacted someone and got this taken down, but not before I got it. Not before I got it and saved it. As soon as I saw it, I said, save this. They're going to start going backwards and trying to delete stuff. And this one was a gem. And she's going to confirm that after she passes her crown, so in 2007, she's wearing the crown, and then she passes her crown, she is going to confirm that she does indeed go missing after that period. So this would be, of course, in 2008. Take a listen to what Erika says herself.
I prayed for God to just strip my ego from all of that stuff, all of that world, all of the plastic hat crown stuff with the banner. That was just, it was me from the standpoint of a philanthropic side, but the hometown hero thing was just weird, and it was unhealthy, and it was just ego fueling. So I locked myself in my room, basically turned into a hermit for about a good 8 months. The only person I would see outside of my family was my pastor's wife, and we would go to the church, and she would just pour into me every single day. And I just was reading scripture and read the Bible cover to cover multiple times.
That is very interesting. How can an active college student purport to see no one but her mother and her pastor's wife for 8 months? She says nobody saw her. Check. That's true. I'm highlighting this particular period of time because I suspect that this could potentially represent a time when Erika trained to become a Christian. Again, this is my personal opinion. It's my podcast. But given what we've learned about Fort Huachuca, an intel base that literally trains Christians, I'm asking myself, was she just training? Was she training to become a Christian? Was she training to be able to impress people like Charlie by just always having a Bible verse? Now she can't even get out a sentence
Super Christian.
without making it somehow a Bible verse or a holy in some degree. And there's something that registers to people as off about that. I want to know, who is her pastor's wife? Who is the pastor's wife? That was the only person that saw Erika for 8 months. And again, she is dating when this happened herself. She says she hands over her crown. She wanted to strip herself from all this plastic. And by strip herself, she means she's going to then continue to compete every single year. In fact, she competes that year too. But who is the pastor's wife? We tried to find out by going through her old tweets via an account that Erika has since locked down. Shout out to the mommy sleuth who said, hey, Candace, I have access. Do you want my password? Special shout out to that hero. Not all heroes wear capes. Some people just have logins on X.
It's good to be Candace.
And what we were able to
us.
discern, and again, we're putting this as a possibility, and since Turning Point didn't answer our first slate of questions, there's no point. And actually, we particularly went out to them 2 days ago with this specific question: who was the pastor? They didn't answer. But we thought a possible church could be the City of Grace, which is in Scottsdale, City of Grace of Scottsdale. Pastor Terry Christ is mentioned on her X feed as early as 2011. She says, Pastor Terry is awesome. We've got some more tweets here. I cherish your friendship and I'm grateful for your love. Judith Christ, that would be his wife. You are the epitome of a Proverbs.
That looks
totally obsessed with
superimposed.
City of Grace, she says. Sunday mornings with my Tyler Massey. Oh, no, you guys know Tyler Massey. She didn't date anybody before. Charlie, oh no, you guys are messing up. My heart is overwhelmed with incredible amounts of joy. Congratulations, Terry Christ, Judith Christ. The vibes are vibing. Now, coincidentally, and I'm going to bring Ashley on in a second to explain a little more, but I'll tell you that Pastor Terry is very close with Brian Houston, the Hillsong Church founder, who infamously attempted to cover up his father's pedophilia. Brian Houston, on his father, who was never charged, said, quote, I have no doubt now that my father was a serial pedophile and will probably never know the extent of it. That's from him. That's a quote from him. She has been friends since 1994. So Erika has been friends with them. So let me bring on Ashley to explain that the Terry, Christ, and Judith and the relation in a better manner, because she's way deeper down that rabbit hole than I am.
Yeah. So like we said, Pastor Terry Christ and his wife, Pastor Judith Christ, they were very close with Erika at this time. From 2011 to around 2016 is where we can track their relationship. And interestingly, Pastor Terry Christ has a very interesting background. So he is very good friends with Brian Houston, who was the founder of Hillsong. And like you said, he was very much like he covered up his father's pedophilia for years, and he actually never got charged for it. And so Brian Houston resigned eventually, and then right afterwards, Pastor Terry Christ also resigned from his church that he was leading, but he said it wasn't related. So nothing to see there. And then one other weird thing that happened was Pastor Terry Christ and his wife were accused of having, well, this is just word on the street, but they would have their congregants like throw up into bags to get rid of bad spirits. And so that's just word on the street, allegedly.
Allegedly, I will say that even regarding the pastor, even though his son is making the allegation that he believes his father was a pedophile, if he was not charged, then we cannot state that definitively. But, you know, there seems to be some smoke there that is what has been alleged even by his own son. And like I said, I'm not deep on that, but it is interesting. And I am not certain this is the pastor's wife that she went into training with. I'm not certain she had to throw up in a bag, to get rid of bad spirits. But I do know that YouTube will do what it has to do. The YouTube creators will do what they have to do. The Baron Colemans, the Nisas, they'll do what they have to do to get to the bottom of that. Because this is an interesting turning point in Erika's life, in my view. And she strikes me as someone who, there are going to be some psychiatrists in her life and some psychologists. There's just that is what people are perceiving is a spiritual darkness. And sometimes spiritual darkness comes from people who are purporting to be spiritually light. People who can't get out a sentence without saying the Lord, the Lord, the Lord, could have something else going on, as we just learned with the Hillsong scandal. Look, that's all we know for sure. Otherwise, we can confirm to you guys that despite Erika's hiatus, 8-month hiatus, according to her, she does make it to compete for Miss USA Colorado 2009, and she places third runner-up. So that's 2008. We are going to leave it there. We can show you if you want to. I guess you already saw the timeline, so you guys are good. We're going to take a very brief break, and we'll be right back. All right, you guys, the
Whoa. Whoa, you guys. What are you thinking? Is your mind blown? Who's taking Erika's place? The amazing Mikey McCoy? Erika's going to she's going to step down. She has to. She will. They're going to force her out. It was probably always the plan. They hire criminals. Our government, these institutions, so that they'll do what they want them to do. So they'll fall in line because either they have a history of breaking the law or they have no problem breaking the law. This is what our government and our industries are full of. And we're just puppets. We're the middle layer and down. Holy cow. Are you guys freaking out? Are you still here? Wow. Mikey McCoy, he can't cut it. He can't do it. He can't do it. Andrew can't. Andrew's in deep too. Tyler's in deep. I don't think Mikey's going to be up. Stacy Sheridan has to be making a plan already.
Because maybe you owe back.
We need to make bets. Wow.
You retired and you suddenly got hit with a tax bill they didn't expect. Maybe you pulled money from your 401k or IRA early and now the IRS wants its share. However your tax issue started, the outcome is always the same. Your balance is not going down. Penalties are growing. Interest compounds.
Yeah, when you
and
say, if
many
you
of
have to
are
say you
about
weren't
to-
groomed, chances are you're groomed and you know you were. Yeah, breaking the law is akin to having no morals. You think? Or, survival mode. But eventually you have to break out of survival mode because whatever that conscience that you have, that light that you have within you speaks to you. You can't just continue, you can't just do that without your conscience speaking to you.
Call 866-686-1651, or you can just visit tnusa.com/Candace.
What is Erika
Again, that's
thinking? What's Matt Walsh thinking?
tnusa.com/Candace.
What's Graham?
I just have to say, people have lost their minds. I just truly have to say, I am sickened by how dishonest people are right now.
Graham
Everyone
Allen?
out here making it. There's nothing to see here. She's just a grieving widow. Everybody's fine at Turning Point. These people love Charlie. These people didn't even write their own speeches for his memorial. Take it to the bank. They didn't even write their own speeches for the memorial. They had people writing their speeches. That's how little these people cared about Charlie Kirk. Charlie was a means to them. Go ahead, call me a monster. Make a video.
Yep.
They're out here telling you it's okay. I'm gonna debunk what Candace is saying. Okay, Erika lied. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Well, that's how some people grieve. They grieve by lying. They grieve by lying. You guys need to settle down. Why do you care so much if she's lying? Why do you care so much that she suddenly apparently had a clear enough mind to decide that she wanted to take the board to a vote to make her the CEO while her children are not at home? Why do you care so much? It's weird. You guys are the weird ones. How's that PSYOP going? It's failing. We literally do not care at all what everybody is saying on the internet that is clearly being paid to say the same thing. If you find the most demonic thing that happened in all of this to be me investigating it and investigating whether or not the people that are taking over Turning Point USA are actually going to be good stewards of the billions, alleged billions going forward, if you find that to be the most demonic thing, you're out of order, my dude. You're just out of order. You're out of order. You know, like when you used to see like you go to the machine and a soda can, it just has like a little piece of paper out of order. That's you right now. You're just out of whack. You know what? Lori reminds me, I gotta say this, I shouldn't say it, but I just get the vibe. I look at her and I just know, you know, I don't know, but I know. She gives me Grandpa Joe vibes. You know, Grandpa Joe? He was like a number one. He got away with it. Nobody even thinks about Grandpa Joe and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. He's out there. He's, oh, hey, Charlie. Oh, I'm sick. Hey, nice to see you busy. Charlie pulled out a golden ticket. Grandpa Joe did a whole dance routine. He said, oh, look, I'm good. Let's go. And then Grandpa Joe, look at the grandpa. That's Lori. That's Lori. And then Grandpa Joe, he gets down. He's the factory. Charlie's a good kid. He's a good kid. Charlie was a very good kid. Grandpa Joe gets down to the factory, tells him, steal the recipe. Steal the recipe. Give it to Slugworth. Vibes. I never misread them. Vibes. Anyway, some more Erika lies. We'll get into that next week. But I just now reflect on her telling me during our sit down that she received the questions ahead of time for her interview with Barry Weiss. Like she knew that Barry was going to ask a question about me. You know, she said, they didn't rehearse her answers, but she knew what they were going to ask, obviously. And therefore, we can conclude that none of the questions caught her off guard. She definitely thought through recounting her time in New York City, whether or not she was dating. And I want you to pay special attention now, because it's even crazier in the retrospect, to her body language as she's about to tell us that she didn't date anybody.
Truth is
for 5 years
best.
before she met Charlie. Take a listen to this.
I'm a 26-year-old Christian woman living in New York City. I would like to stay here long term, but I wonder whether it's sustainable. Do you believe there's a place for women like myself in modern cities who care about having a career, but also marrying a like-minded Christian conservative man?
Well, yeah, so it just depends on where you're looking. You know, if you're on the apps. I don't know if you're on the apps. I don't know if
Ugh,
I'm not
she
going to
makes
ask you
me
your personal
sick.
journey. But what I will say is when I lived out here, I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was. Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than go. I don't drink. I find it unproductive, not because I'm holier than whatever. I just don't operate that way. But I always thought it was very strange how she would go to drinks with one guy and then go to dinner with another. So it goes twofold here. So if you're expecting to marry someone that I was blessed with, like a Charlie, you have to be the type of woman that will attract a Charlie.
So I promise you, Erika went to drinks with one man and then went to dinner with another. I promise you.
Are you going to church? Are you going to Bible study? Did you tell your pastor that you are ready for the Lord to bring into your life the man that you've been praying for? You yourself need to be prepared for that man, and only you will know how to do that. Does that mean staying out and going out with the girls? I'm not saying you sit on your couch and all of a sudden he's going to knock on your door and be like, honey, let's rendezvous. Like, that's not how it happens.
Not unless you have Tyler
Granted, my
Boyer.
situation was a little different. I wouldn't do it. You went to a job interview. Literally. So this is how good the Lord is. He knew that because I was not dating in New York City, he knew that in order for me to know that that was my man, he had to blanket Charlie as a job interview. Because if that went in, no joke, if he came to me and said, hey, let's go on a date to Bill's Burgers, I'd be like, I am so sorry. Thank you, but no, we're not doing this. That was my mindset. I was not in that headspace. I just wasn't.
Yeah.
What headspace were you
Crazy in the retrospect. Who is the Lord? Is it the Lori? Is it the Lori?
Lori.
Or the Lord?
Is
it the Lori? I don't know. But I'm going to find out.
It's
Interesting
yucky.
things
It's
that
so
happen
gross.
in the timeline as we start to go forward. Ask yourself, what is the intended purpose of that lie? Not necessary. Who is the intended audience for that lie that is completely unnecessary? Nobody that I know would judge Erika if she was like, you know what? I was like Candace. I was down at One Oak. I was eating pizza at 3 a.m. in the morning at Artichoke. Okay. And then my life cleaned up after that. And I'm so grateful that I met a wonderful person like Charlie. I did the 20s hard in New York City. There's no expectation for her to pretend she never dated anybody. Like she just was, I was sitting at home observing my roommate and go, so terrible. No, please. No. The Lori knew.
Like a
the
nun.
Lori knew exactly what I needed, which was Charlie. And the Tyler knew.
The Tyler knew.
Be sat down and told that it was a business opportunity, and what the Lori knew was probably everything about Charlie. Just like people say that Lori tells her what to say and who to target in every room. I find that to be likely. I can't know that. I don't think Lori or Erika is going to cop to that. But when people are saying it across various points in her life, that the common denominator is Lori, yeah, that feels right to me. Her whole demeanor there is just crazy. What's the purpose of that lie? And of course, you guys, I hate to tell you this, but the reality is that from 2013 to 2018, the 5 years preceding her relationship with Erika had multiple boyfriends. She rang in the new year with a boyfriend, okay, in 2018. So yeah, no.
She went to drinks. She went to dinner.
I did not have a boyfriend in New York. I didn't go out to meet a boyfriend because I already had one. And maybe he was living in DC or something, but that's the reason that I had a boyfriend. That's the answer. I always had a boyfriend, and they were in different cities. So there was not actually a single year that we could find that Erika Franzfey was single. Opposite of what she says to be true. Like I said, more on that next week. We're going to have a quick break, and then I'll get to some of your comments because we are going long here. All right, you guys, between groceries, travel, and higher prices, it is easy to feel overwhelmed, especially.
Whoa. Oh, whoa. Who's still with me? Are your minds blown? This is so good. It's so good. Tell me. My mind's spinning. She knew what she was doing. She knew the plan. She was in on the plan. And she's been in on it ever since. Charlie was part of the plan. All of this was. Tyler knows it. Lori knows it. Erika knows it. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Are you guys speechless? It looks like you're speechless.
And ease to chronic pain and deeper sleep. But most importantly, their number one reported result is a significant increase in energy. So head to masterpiece.health and start detoxing today. You can use my promo code Candace at checkout and you'll get 10% off your entire order. That's masterpiece.health, promo code Candace. Okay, let's get into some of these top comments from the last episode. These ones always make me laugh. This one says, Bat Walsh is hiding in the bathroom at the Daily Wire watching this episode. Because I know, obviously, the Daily Wire's campus. Whenever you guys say this, I picture the employees all huddled up in the restroom watching my episode.
What's
I hope
Nick
that's how it's actually
saying?
Going down. Bell Poke writes, I skipped my classes at Tesseract School to watch this. Well, good, because that's not going to be a school for long. And Ashton, Tennessee writes, I would like to thank Dan Bongino for sending me here. Fantastic. Yeah, look, maybe these guys will update their perspectives with more information because I got to say,
they won't.
These aren't clerical errors, my friend. These are not clerical errors. I have the rest of the documents. Like I said, we'll go over that for you guys on Monday. I just had to give you the Urban Beck scandal full stop so you could really appreciate that a story of murder and families involved in all that. It was not a non-starter. Not for the Lori.
No.
Not for the Lori. I want to remind you guys also, if you'd like to support our show, we have merch on the website. That is the best way to do it. Go sign up. We are independent. We are also standing against the entire world, it seems. Not really. Actually, the people have never been more with us, and the media has never been more against us. And I do want to say that when MSNBC, as they are dedicating entire segments to calling us devilish, that's fantastic. Like, I want all of the right people hate me. I just want to be very clear. I'm like, whoop, vote of confidence. Vote of confidence that I am doing the right thing, is I do not want to be on these people's sides. And I love that it's bringing the left and the right together. My audience has never been more left and right at the same time. And I think that we're really starting to see who rules over us and is constantly trying to keep us engaged in the Republican versus Democrat game, which serves nobody.
That's the good thing about this.
Pedophiles that are ruling over us.
Yeah.
Rachel writes, I am greatly enjoying this Bride of Charlie series. Thank you. It was so much work. Shout out to the team. You guys have no idea. We don't even have, like, obviously I got fired from Daily Wire, so I'm just like in a basement. We don't even have good chairs, man. They don't even have good chairs. They don't even have a window. Shout out to the team. Shout out to Dom and Ash and Skylar and Savannah and Bella. You don't know what Chris, you don't know what he's got to do editing this trailer. Me and Chris on a Saturday. People saying we're going to go after the marketing company that did the trailer. Yeah, okay. It's ghetto over here, okay? And we're having fun. We are having fun. Next person, going to get to some more of your comments here. Rachel writes, I support you and I hope you stay safe. I watch you every single day and learn so much from you. I love how you explain things and bring a different perspective in a world that feels fake. You really do the work to show what's real. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And like I said, just like everywhere I go, I feel the love from the people. And I know I'm never going to get a fair shake from the media, but I just do not care. The Vifa writes, went to Hillsong in Oslo in my 20s. I remember how creepy it was being groomed to believe that the big pastor did for his dad what the big pastor did for his dad, and covering up the pedophilery, I don't know if that's a word, was God's love and forgiveness. Wow, that is crazy that they tried to tell you that. That's the day. I mean, you feel it with these Calvary chapels too, as I went through and showed you how many of them were involved in pedophilia scandals. And we watched Rob McCoy try to like whitewash somebody who actually went to prison. It's just crazy. Something's not right, and we have to understand these are indeed psychological operations, and they really peaked at the Charlie Kirk assassination and trying to shame us into wanting answers. Joshua Steves writes, the comments on Graham's and Dan Bongino's Candace is demonic video only confirms that the world sees the truth and has your back. Go Max, Candace. The series was great. Do you know what's really funny? Just thinking about that in general, like, just as a man, this is a serious question. I'll leave it rhetorical. Like, as a man, if you see like 45 other dudes with the microphone all being theatrical, oh, this is crazy, I'm coming for you, Candace, I'm gonna like harm you. There was violence. They were saying what they were going to do violently, what deserves to happen to her. How do you not like recognize that there is nothing manly about that? It just never lands. When men get all fired up and are shouting about a trailer that was dropped by a girl, like, it's just, what are you doing? What do you just stop doing that?
Erika is
Please,
playing the
stop doing
damsel
that.
in
And
distress.
to the other men, if 75,000 other men think they're brave for making videos, you don't need to be the 76th. I promise you, none of you are brave. None of you are changing the game, okay? You're all being emotionally impacted by a trailer that hasn't even come out. It's lame. It's very lame. This is why I like the East. I keep telling you guys, this is why I like Russia. I just feel like in Russia, when you go on YouTube, there's not a bunch of men crying. You just feel like they're not like, stop it, Candace. Bad things happen when good men don't make videos on YouTube about a series that hasn't come out, a 2-minute trailer.
Oh my gosh.
Please stop. I am begging you all to just stop. They're probably not going to stop.
Oh my gosh.
It's fine. Okay. Keep being crybaby men. Corey Henry writes, I have lived in Cincinnati for 60 years, and I remember this so clearly. The Urban Beck scandal. Go Max, Candace. Christ
Wow.
is king. What do you guys think the real reason was Lori got out of there? Oh, I forgot. Because she slipped and fell and bumped her head and became a technological genius. Like I said,
A savant. It happens.
Really bad
You
at
bump
tech,
your head,
and
that can
I need
happen.
that. I just need that in my life. Lastly, the Nicole writes, I just miss Charlie as an audience member. Would, after the years of listening, not only seeing his content come up, just continues to remind me it won't ever be the same. Thank you, Candace, for doing what others won't. I'm praying for you. Christ is king. There will never be another Charlie. And, you know, I still kind of go through the emotions, and sometimes I'm like angry at him, even though he's not here. Whereas I'm just like, man, when I see him again, I'm just going to be like, you should have listened to me. I told you. All of these people.
Don't follow the money.
I told you that just because it's in a ball gown at Mar-a-Lago doesn't mean it's not a gangster. And so his naivety about some of the stuff frustrates me. And I know it seems ridiculous. He's not here. How do you get frustrated about that? But it's just like, man, you always woulda, coulda, shoulda. And I'm like, where would we be today if he had listened?
Yeah.
We won't know. Anyway, guys, I hope you all have a absolutely beautiful, wonderful weekend. Spend time with your family and know that we are at the gates and we are winning. We'll see you next week.
Bye, Candace. Whoa. That is explosive. Stacey Sheridan, Erika Kirk, Matt Walsh, Graham Allen, if they're even looking, if they're even interested in truth. That's wild. That's interesting. Zesty asks, was Erika preggo during the 8 months being a hermit? That's a good question. Whoa, I had not even thought about that. That's a good amount of time. Like, but she wasn't a good, Christian girl at that point. Maybe, I don't know. And I say Christian loosely because I don't believe that. I don't believe that she's this super Christian, like Charlie's neck. She's not. She is not. They would want to trick you and make you second guess yourself and second guess everything else. But wow. Okay, so we're going into next week. My guess is, do we go into Tuesday? So we thought it'd go into next week, some of us. Is it done Monday? I don't think so. I don't think it could be. I think Tuesday. Was hoping for a cliffhanger. This is wild. There's a lot to digest. You know, I've said in a lot of this stuff we've talked about in previous live streams, and you know about Charlie Kirk and all these players, but I'm just sort of blown away. So, like, you know, it's deep, like, you know, but when you know, then you're like, oh my gosh, Erika's not going to stay. She can't. There's no way. Like, even as much as they've been trying to like belabor this whole thing, she's not working. It's not working for them. And is she going to be the fall guy? If she's the designated fall guy for the whole thing? Show Christian. Yeah, she's a show Christian. It's and I wonder how much of their marriage ended up being for show. Like, it makes you wonder, right? Because if Charlie, he started on the right track, he got off on the wrong track, wanting to chase the money, wanting to chase the clout, and then he was like, oh, oops, no, I don't want to go there. And they're like, yeah, it's too late, buddy. It's too late. But I don't think Mikey McCoy is going to be the one to, it's done. I think it's done. Guys, what would be the next chapter, the next level for them, even if they could survive this? And I don't think that Matt Walsh, I don't think any of them will buy this. I think they'll look at it. They don't want to see the truth. So there's people that hear the truth and they receive it with joy. Like we talked about in past, that's what I was going to say before, my ADD brain, is the joy that we have when truth is exposed isn't because we're like, well, in part, it's like, I gotcha, because you're trying to cheat us, lie to us, defraud us. But it's just that we're done. We're so done as a people, I think, as a society. We're so done with the lies and the fraud and the deceit that we're like, yeah, when it comes out, we're going to rejoice. And I have a lot of people, well, you know, a good amount of people on my post say, like, you're evil, like, you're rejoicing at, they're buying the, you know, the bereaved widow. But that we're happy because they're trying to trick us. They're trying to fool us. And we're like, we're not going to have it. And so then when we have the truth come out, we're like, yes. And that's the joy that you see, because we're all tired of the deception and the lies. She has to cover for Romania. Yeah. Well, I think she was just a name. Just like they used Lori on the name of those documents, I think they used her and they just put her name. So this is what the fraud families do. They change names, they change social security numbers, they what do you call it? Change documents. They what is that called? Forge documents. They change them and they use it to suit their purpose. And this is a family that has done it for generations. She came up in it. She's a part of it. And it's just going to blow up in their face. How much Donald Trump will want to cover for her, he knows it. They all know it. His administration knows it. They hire criminals for that purpose. So we won't harp on it, but there's a lot to digest. We'll be back here on Monday. Normally, I'm on usually Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but Candace is coming back on Monday, so we'll be back. I want to sit here and watch it with you guys and do this, so I don't want to miss a thing. So we'll be back here on a Monday. I wish you guys a happy Friday, a good Friday. Enjoy your pizza. Enjoy. Somebody said they named their drink that they like. I looked it up and it's some sort of Italian liqueur. Enjoy that drink. Have a margarita on me. What's this? Dusty. My tortoise shell kitty. I named her Truth. T-Truth. Oh. T-Truth. Truth will always, yeah, I said this yesterday. We're not built for lies. We're not made for lies. We are built to hold truth. And so lies fragment us and disjoint us, and they cause us to crack in all type of way. But that's not what we're made for. We're made for more. We're made for better. And we know that. And the ones who are here and stayed and true, that's what we're for. And the other people can choose to, like somebody put in their comments, hands over the eyes, the ears, the mouth, hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil. Well, it just all needs to be out there. And this is an era for that time, for truth. Jeff says someone should document all these lies, name changes into one file and go through it. The list would be long. People keep forgetting, and it would be good to see a summary. Yeah, I'm sure they are. I'm sure Candace has, she's got people organized. So anyway, thank you for being here. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe, get all notifications, and follow me on other socials. And I will see you next time, and I'll see you soon. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
This is a better life. From scars to stars, from pain to bulletproof, Teresa, better life. A better life with you. Talking news, pop culture life, love and scandal, heart to heart. Teresa, better life. Real is where the reset starts. No playing small. We rise, we fall. We laugh, we do it all. A better life is one brave call. Teresa, better life. Let's build a better life. Let's build a better life. A better life. Teresa, better life.